it's just his foot. But today I'm going to be doing a story time about my pregnancy with DJ. So, in January, mid-January, beginning of February, I thought I was pregnant. So I took a pregnancy test. It came back positive. I didn't believe it. So I went to the hospital and got another test done. And it confirmed that I was pregnant. I was 5 weeks. And I was scared to tell my mother at this point because I thought she would be disappointed in me. But when we told her, she was happy. So after that, I was fine. I was eating and everything. And then as days went by, I started not being able to eat. Like I would take one bite out of my food and then sit it down. And that was weird because usually I would finish majority of my food. And when the next day, as the next days went by, I wasn't able to eat at all. I wasn't able to drink at all. I would wake up. I was constantly vomiting. Like, it was a 24/7 thing. Like, I couldn't drink water and I needed water. I couldn't eat food and I needed food. Couldn't take medicine. I couldn't hold nothing down. So I went to the hospital. They didn't know what was wrong with me exactly. So they just gave me an IV and just sent me home. And they did that about a good 2 or 3 times. 3 times, to be exact. The 4th time I went to the hospital, it was like, well, before that, I would be at home still constantly throwing up, and I went to the bathroom one day by myself, and I went back. I got super lightheaded, lightheaded, about to black out, and I made it to my room, and then I eventually blacked out, and my sister had to help me back to my bed, and I would feel like that like almost every day. Like, that wasn't a good feeling. I was also losing weight almost every day. I got all the way down to 60 pounds. And I didn't look like myself. I didn't. It was times where I didn't want to look in the mirror because of how I looked. But I couldn't help it because I was sick. So after I went to the hospital about 3 times and they didn't know what was wrong with me, the last time I went, they did the same thing, but they admitted me this time. And then they came back and they told me that I have a hyperactive thyroid. Didn't know what that was. I was scared. I thought it was like a life or death situation. It technically was, but it was controllable. So they transferred me over to a bigger hospital that specialized in that problem that I had, because the hospital I was at, they didn't specialize in it. So I got switched over, and they kept me in that hospital for about a good week or 2. But I was able to eat again, and my mom was happy. She was taking pictures and everything. I was just sitting there like, why are you taking pictures of me? She was like, because I'm happy my baby can eat now, and that you can drink now, and that you feel better. And I was happy too. She was telling everybody, letting them know how I was doing and everything. And that was a scary feeling for me because I didn't think I would make it, and I didn't think my baby would make it because of how little I got. And I thought I was gonna constantly keep losing weight until eventually I was just gone. But God was always with me, and my mom was always with me, and my boyfriend was always with me, and I love both of them for that. And my family, my close family members, they would always check on me, was always watching me, making sure I was eating, taking my medicine and everything, asking me if I needed anything. And I loved them for that. And then I was better. And well, when I was in the process of getting better, like going home, I had to be careful because my legs were still kind of weak, because when I was sick, I was like always laying in the bed. Like I couldn't walk or anything. I was always laying in the bed, so my legs, they got weak. And I was still getting a little lightheaded, but not as bad. I was still getting lightheaded when I got up, when I was in my stages of getting better. And I had to drink more water than I usually was supposed to. I had to make sure I ate and everything, taking my prenatals and everything. The thing about this, even though I was better, I still had doctor's appointments. They had to take my blood, make sure everything was okay. Then eventually they told me that they gave me thyroid medicine. I wasn't taking them because I can't take pills. I don't know how to swallow pills. But anyways, I wasn't taking the pills. But when I went to the thyroid specialist, they told me that the problem was gone. So, yeah. But I should at least try. But anyways, then after that, I had my baby shower and everything. And when October hit, I was big and in a lot of pain, and I was ready to meet him. So I bounced at the edge of the bed for 20 minutes. Then the next day, I was having small contractions. They were painful, but not as painful. Like, they were like small little period cramps. They would last for about like 10 minutes. No, they were 10 minutes apart. Then the next day, they got worse. Like, it was unbearable. Like, I couldn't talk. I was crying and screaming. So I called my mom, and I had her take me to the hospital. And my boyfriend had to call off that day. I'll call off work so he could come with me. And when I got there, they checked me. And they said I was 3 centimeters dilated and the baby's head was right there. And they asked me if I wanted to stay or if I wanted to go. And I said I wanted to stay because I wanted to have my baby. Like, I wanted to see him. That shouldn't even been a question. But anyways. So I stayed in there almost all day. Nobody checked on me or nothing. I'm just sitting in there screaming and crying and everything. Then eventually at like 11 or 12, I got switched over to the labor and delivery room, and I was still in pain. In about an hour or two, then I got my epidural, and I felt so much better. But the after effect, I don't like that I always have back pains. That kills me. But I got my epidural. Everybody came back in the room. Then about 2 hours, they checked me again, and they said that when they gave me my epidural, they broke my water. And then an hour or two later, they told me that it was time to push. And at 3:18, I had my baby boy DJ, which his name is Dantrell Leonte Boyd Jr. And I had him. He was 6 pounds, 4.2 ounces, 20 inches long. And I was happy. I was happy to see my baby. He looked like his mama when he was first born. But now he look like his daddy. He just don't know who he want to look like. But to go through that, to have that experience when you first have a child is scary, and it makes you think like, I don't want to ever go through this again. So before I have any more children, when I'm ready, I'm gonna make sure that it's okay for me to have more, because they told me that I could possibly, if I have another child, I could possibly go through the same thing again, and me don't want to go through that again. I had all my family members worried about me and everything. They stayed strong for me. So, yeah. But this was just a little beginner video, and I'm gonna do more like this. Q&A, story times, vlogs. Hi, baby. Hi. he want to talk. But I'm gonna do story times, vlogs, challenges, pranks, and all that. So you guys just stay tuned. But that's it for today. Thank you. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of me. And I'm out.